morning and welcome to At Home with Peggy, except I'm not home right now because in touring the yard on this beautiful spring day, I discovered I lost some very cool things. It happens, it was a cold winter, we've had a late spring, we had some snow and ice, and some tricky little things didn't make it. It happens. So I wanted to come to this very special nursery. It's called Corner-Copia on the very edge of East Windsor on Route 571 because they have some very cool things that I can replace the cool things that I lost. It's sad, but hey, it's the cycle of life. We keep going. And I wanted you to meet the owner of Corner-Copia, John Specca.
Hello.
Hey, John.
Peggy, how you doing?
I'm good. This is a cool thing. What is this?
It's supposed to be a pony.
Well, he has a little mane and some ears.
Yeah, very neat, different type of topiary.
But it's wonderful to have something this cool here. I mean, I don't know that I have a spot for him at home, but I like to just come and pet him. So, you have anything for me to, I mean,
Sure.
I need some.
Sure, we got some.
That wonderful little green guy, that lime green guy, he didn't make it. He was in a very exposed spot, and what you got to watch out for that wind.
Yeah, it'll tear them up. Especially when they're the small dwarf birches like that. They're very touchy.
Yeah. And
so.
I've had trouble. I had a Harry lauder in that spot for years, and the bunnies murdered it.
Yeah.
They went under and ate all the roots, and when I pulled back the mulch, there were holes and ate all the roots. That was the end of that one. So, you have anything?
Sure. We'll take a walk out front. I'm sure we got plenty out there.
Yeah, we'll go. You got a spot where you like collect cool stuff?
Yeah, we kind of try to keep all of our spotlighted items right in the front display.
On that corner there?
Yeah,
All right, well, let's go over there and you can show me what you've got.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Let's go.
Wow, we're at a really busy intersection, so everybody gets to see this stuff as they go by.
Right.
What's that?
This is called an Arizona Blue Ice Juniper.
It's a very interesting color. Is it mean? No, it's not mean.
Not at all.
It's soft.
No, very bright, likes full sunlight.
How big's it get?
They can max out probably around 10 to 12 foot.
That's too big for that spot.
Yeah, a little bit too big.
Yeah, but I saw something over here that I really liked.
Which one would that be?
This one, this serpentine, weird, twisty, cool thing.
Right.
What is that?
It's a weeping birch, river birch.
It's beautiful.
It's a beautiful tree, yeah. Very nice. Elegant.
It can't get too big, I would think, because of its all twistiness.
Not necessarily. The tip, the main leader is the one you really have to pay attention to. You want to train that so that it doesn't get out of control. But other than that, no, it's a very nice, dainty tree. Likes wet soils.
Would it be okay in that spot on the corner?
Might be a little tight. Might be tight because it can get a little bit bigger.
It can get big?
Yes.
But I love it.
That's great.
All right.
Find another spot.
All right, let's look over here. Okay, John, this one's a little weird. What is this?
This is the Weeping Blue Atlas Cedar.
Now, the cedars, they get really enormous and they kind of turn into pterodactyls and spread. But this is serpentine, so is this one going to stay a little smaller?
Well, you could train it to stay kind of on the smaller side, yes. As you can see, the shape was done by putting a stake down through it and then every year wrapping it.
So I'd need to keep doing it?
If you wanted to keep this certain configuration, yes. Otherwise, most folks just let it grow. The tip will continue to grow. You might want to prune that back or train it to go in a different direction or a different shape.
But it's going to get too big, isn't it?
It'll get pretty big, yes.
Okay, what's this weird thing?
Well, this is a special graft.
That's really funny looking, John.
It's really different. This is a Weeping Norway spruce on the bottom, and on top some Montgomery blue spruce.
Okay.
And all that put on
get along?
18-inch standard. For the most part, the top can probably reach a good 4 to 5 foot across eventually. The bottom, we have yet to see.
Well, I think that one would probably work, but it's just, I don't know. It's just, I don't know.
It's different.
Okay, let's go over there. There's some things over there.
Okay.
All right, John, I don't know. I think maybe I need to go with something a little more classic, like maybe one of these.
Well, it's a perfect spot for it.
You think it'll do well in that spot?
Yeah, if you're limited in space, these are trimmable. It will not get much taller, maybe another foot at the most. And that mainly due to the branches coming up and weeping down, but the trunk will thicken up. It's actually probably a really good one for that spot.
All right. All right, will you put that one aside for me?
Sure will.
Okay, I like that one. I'm going to go classic. It's, it's the only way to go, I think.
Well, it does resemble what you had there. It's got the lace leaf.
Yeah.
Just a different color.
Well, it's pretty. It's red is pretty, and it'll get redder in the fall, I'm sure. Okay, now, what about cherries? I need a spot for a cherry tree. You have a cherry tree for me?
Sure.
All right, can we
what kind
go
are we looking for?
I want
Sweet.
a pie cherry.
Pie cherry?
I make really good cherry pies.
Well,
Yeah, really
we'll
good cherry
see.
pies.
We'll see.
All right, show me the cherries.
Will do.
John, these don't look like trees.
Well, they're shrub forms. You're right. They're not trees at all. But I thought maybe you'd get a look at some of these items that you could use for your pies.
Wow, I've been working on turning my vegetable garden area into having small fruit-bearing bushes. I'm adding blackberries this year and some more raspberries and goji berries, which are supposed to be very healthy.
Right.
But you said those are cherries? Let's take a look at those.
Yeah. They call them bush cherries.
They're bush cherries?
Yes.
They don't even look a lot like cherries.
Not really. Supposedly they resemble the flowering almond.
The flowering almond, well, that's in the same family.
Yes.
And it gets fruit in the fall as opposed to the spring, which is
Yes.
what the trees get. And you can make pies out of these?
That's what they claim.
That's what they claim?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to need some
Haven't tried one
of those.
yet, but we'll see.
All right, those pretty little flowers, those are blueberries.
Yes.
Okay, is this more
Blueberries,
blueberries?
yeah, there's a lot
and
of different
several
varieties.
different kinds. What's that one with the bigger leaf?
Bigger leaf is the elderberry.
This thing is an elderberry?
Yes, ma'am.
Like elderberry wine, like an arsenic and old lace, where
Sure.
they, oh, okay, we'll take
That's
a
the
look
one.
at that.
And you look at
Wow.
all the fruit trees
There's
a little
more
bit further down.
raspberries, blackberries.
White raspberries.
Wow, the golden ones.
Yeah.
This is a kiwi, John,
Yeah.
but it's a boy.
Yeah, it's a male, but it's hardy for the area. One of the few varieties of kiwi that
Yeah.
are hardy for the area.
You need male and female, but there's another variety called Isaiah that's self-fruitful.
Yes.
So those are fun, and they make really good vines to cover ugly fences and things.
Nice.
All right, now what do we got over here? All kinds of apples and pears, and this is outrageous. Look at this. Wow, that's 4 different kinds, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
You know, I have a spot in Ocean Grove. I might be able to plant that.
4 types of apples.
Yeah, that's
Great for your
outrageous.
pies.
Yeah, apple pies. Yeah. I make a lot of apple pies. Okay, so where's my cherry? Is this it?
No, no.
No?
Right behind you.
This one?
Yes.
This is my cherry?
There you go.
Okay, it's a Montmorency pie cherry,
Yes, ma'am.
and it's self-fruitful too, right?
Yes.
Okay, so
Saponic.
I'm gonna get from you
Yes.
a Montmorency cherry,
Yes.
a couple of little pie cherry bushes.
Okay.
Okay, and and the Japanese maple.
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna get all those?
Yes.
Okay, and I'm gonna plant them on Friday.
That sounds good.
Okay, all right. A trip well done. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
John.
Thanks for your
And
time.
I'll let you know how it all turns out.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, I've just gotten back from the nursery and I'm standing where I want to put the cherry. Something died here a couple of years ago, and we drilled the trunk full of holes and packed it with fertilizer. It hasn't completely rotted, but I think we'll be able to tuck the cherry tree right next to the stump and we'll be okay. Because as you can see, I have this beautiful apple tree blooming here, and beyond that are some pear trees. So I think this is a absolutely perfect spot for a cherry tree. Besides, I do love cherry pies. So you can see there are lots of things blooming. The lilacs are blooming, the dogwood's blooming, the fothergill is blooming. And I really like how the fothergill goes right in front of the dogwood, and it's got the little fluffy kind of bottle brushy flowers next to the flat open flowers of the dogwood. I think that works really well. And of course, we also have the redbud, which I have observed that it looks really weird when it's in bloom next to a pink dogwood. It looks really good next to a white dogwood. I'm in favor of many, many colors in the garden, but there's just something about that red in the redbud flower that just doesn't go with the kind of shrimpy color of the pink dogwood. So I recommend you plant them separate or plant the redbud next to a white dogwood. That looks really good. And the cherry trees are finishing up, and some of the magnolias are blooming, and I want to show you a cute little curria that I just got, so come on. Now this little guy is a curria japonica, and it grows sort of like a thicket. You can see it comes up not with a main trunk, but with lots of little shoots out of the soil. It does get woody, but the foliage is bright green, and so are the stems. And you can see this little branch died back. We can get rid of this. And look at the pretty little yellow flowers. I'm really amazed because I have always known this plant to have a double flower, a smaller double flower with lots of bright yellow petals. but I recently came across one on the side of the road and I didn't know what it was, and I got out and it was one of these pretty single Cherries. I mentioned it to a friend and gee, one magically appeared by my front door. So I'm going to plant this little guy. I love the yellow flowers. I think I actually like the single ones better than the double. They're just a little showier, a little bigger, and I love the green stems, and occasionally this will put out a bright yellow flower in the summer as well as in the early spring. So I'm going to find a spot for this unique little guy, and then I'm going to pick up all the stuff from Corner-Copia and show you where we're going to plant them. Oh, you caught me working here. Okay, well, I went to the nursery and I got my plants, and then it rained for days and days. So it took a little while before we were able to get things in the ground, but I did get this beautiful little Japanese maple planted in the spot that I wanted. I have to say, I love the red color with all the green foliage around it. We do need to take these tags off. And it's also very important to remember to untie the burlap at the base. You can leave the burlap on, just need to open it and make sure that any strings are removed, because those strings can eventually girdle the plant. And then, of course, you want to water it in thoroughly, which we did, and then it rained for days and days anyway. But it's also important now, you can see there's a little bit of burlap showing right there. That's okay. Burlap is natural. One of the things you have to watch out for, though, is that some burlap today is made out of plastic, in which case that needs to be removed. But if it's natural burlap, it will decompose and you're fine. So we have this little plant here. There's some wonderful things around it. We have some sedum here that blooms in the fall, some phlox coming up right next to it, and this wonderful flowering allium, sort of, that's about to pop. The name of this one keeps changing all the time. They're not sure if it's really an allium or just a close relative, but we'll call it a flowering allium for now, which is one of the bulbs that follows your classic tulips and daffodils. So I'm going to put some mulch around the bottom of this, tidy up a bit, and we'll see it all finished. Okay, well, I have this mulch down, and this is just wood chip mulch that we get from the town. But see how I'm moving it away from the trunk? You can even still see the burlap here just a little bit. But it's very important not to pile it up against the trunk for a couple of reasons. One is that around the trunk, if you have too much moisture and the mulch is up against it, you can actually have the bark rot. The tree essentially will be girdled from rotting. But in addition, I knew that this was possible, but I never actually heard of it happening. If you pile it up, fresh mulch, way up high, it's called volcano mulching. And a friend of mine, Susie, called me to say her tree was on fire. And at first I didn't believe her, but her tree was on fire. The mulch was piled up and it was smoking. It was not steam, there were red embers in it. And I've seen articles recently discussing that volcano mulching actually can catch on fire. Who would have thought? So for a couple of reasons, put the wood chips around, not right up against the trunk. If you need to put them on very thick, make sure there's a well around the trunk. And then, of course, water it in thoroughly. Now I've got some other things planted in the back. Let's go take a peek, and then we're going to make latkes. Well, these little guys we found at Corner-Copia, and they are bush cherries. And according to John, they bear fruit in the fall that make great pies. Now, it also said on the information about them that the birds don't eat the fruit, which makes me nervous, because if the birds don't eat it, it probably tastes awful. But cherries in the fall for cherry pie, I thought that was worth a try. So here they are in the vegetable garden, which is getting slowly converted over to a perennial fruit-bearing garden. And we'll be planting blackberries and raspberries. And I want to show you the goji berries, which are down at the other end. And there's actually one here with a tiny little fruit-like cherry thing on it. We'll take a look at it, and then I'll just have to report back later to see what kind of a pie it really makes. Now this tiny little plant is a goji berry. I've never tried it, I've never seen it, I'm just trying to grow it. It is supposedly the wave of the future and produces red fruit that have all kinds of health promoting properties. So I thought I'd give them a try. So I put them in this bed. They are perennial, they're very hardy. They will get to be 6 to 8 feet high, which hardly looks like they're going to get anywhere near that to start, but everything starts from a seed. And so I've put them in here. I marked them with these little stakes just to make sure everybody knows that they're there, and we'll just have to see how they do. Now I rototilled this bed thoroughly and pulled out most of the weeds by hand to make sure it was in pretty good shape. But I did want to point this little guy out to you. See the unique seed leaves, the shape on them? It's very distinctive. But what I want you to recognize is that this is a seedling for a morning glory weed. And if you ever plant morning glory flowers for the flowers and you allow them to go to seed, eventually they spread to all over in your garden. And we don't want morning glories here, so we're going to take that one out. But you need to be aware of that, and the seeds will continue to germinate all summer, so keep an eye out for them. Now this one is another really bad weed. And this is a perennial weed called wild chrysanthemum. And you definitely want to get rid of that one too. Even though I rototilled thoroughly, it's still popping up in several different places. See the root system on that? That is a perennial root system, and if you have it, it's very difficult to control. So if you see it, make sure you get it out. Now I'm going to mulch this bed with some wood chips. Not today, but maybe tomorrow. I want to get all the rest of my planting done first. And I'll have to report back to you on how these goji berries do too. You may remember that last fall we visited the Tri-County Cooperative Auction Market, which is located just outside of Hightstown. Well, this year they're opening May 6th, and only in the evenings on Wednesdays, so just once a week. But you're invited to come down and participate in the auction and buy locally grown produce. Early spring crops are going to be coming up from South Jersey, as well as bedding plants and vegetable plants and a lot of interesting things that our local farmers produce. In addition to that, we're offering this, which is being called a community-supported agriculture project. And if you're interested, you can participate for $500 and you will get 20 weeks of produce that you can pick up on either Tuesday morning or Thursday morning right after the auction the night before. So if you're interested in having an ample supply of fresh Jersey produce available to you weekly, just give the auction a call, 609-443-0193. For lunch today, we're going to make potato latkes. Now, it's a traditional Hanukkah dish, which I learned to appreciate at my friend Lori's house for Hanukkah dinner. But it's also just a wonderful thing to make for breakfast, to make for lunch, in lieu of regular pancakes, as a side dish, sort of instead of hash browns. Just there's lots of ways that you can use them and enjoy them. And in tough economic times, the more we can use potatoes and enjoy a meal out of them, hey, a penny saved, you know? So I'm going to start out with these potatoes. I'm going to scrub them clean. Now, Marty gave me the recipe and he said to peel them. Now, I don't ever peel potatoes, so why start now? But I'll bring them over here, we'll cut them up, and I'll show you the next step. All right, I'm cutting up this onion. For every 2 medium to large potatoes, you use 1 onion. This recipe is on my website, which is peggishomeandgarden.com. But I am making a couple changes to it. It's the original recipe, the way Marty gave it to me. These potatoes and onions are supposed to be cubed in 1-inch cubes, and then I will be putting them in the blender. Now I'm also adding, not in the original recipe, some garlic, because to me, you know, well, maybe it's my Italian heritage, but I really like garlic and I really like it in potatoes, so I just add a smidgen of garlic to the mixture. Now, 1 more potato, and we're going to put them all in the blender and pulverize them. All right, we've got a few potatoes here, and we'll do some onions, a few more potatoes, a little garlic. I think I'll be able to do this in 2 batches. We covered them with water, put the lid on, and there we go. Now, pour the whole mixture in here. Any other kind of a strainer that you have, you can even use just a traditional colander. And you squeeze out the extra water. I'll do the rest. All in together. And then I'll show you what we're going to do with the mixture. Well, both batches of potato, onion, garlic mixture are in the strainer. And you can see as you press down, the water running down, the extra moisture running down the sides. We want it fairly dry. All right, I think that's pretty good. Okay, now we're going to dump this water out, and I want to show you what's in the bottom. Now, you can see there's a white residue in the bottom. You want that. And we're going to dump this wonderful potato mixture into the bowl. Oh, it is nice and dry. It's just the right texture. And we're going to add 2 beaten eggs, 1 egg for every 2 potatoes. I did use an extra potato because one of them looked puny. Okay, let me mix this up, and we have a couple more ingredients to add, and then we're going to cook them up. Okay, while that's sitting there, we're going to let the oil get hot. Now you want the oil to be really hot when you're cooking this. So we're going to put it in, and you want it a little bit deep, maybe a 1/4 inch deep in the pan. Okay, so we'll turn that on high to get going, and then we'll lower it down to medium when we actually start cooking. A couple more ingredients. We want a 1/2 teaspoon per every 2 potatoes. So this is 1 teaspoon, so we'll use 1 teaspoon since I doubled the recipe of baking powder. And we want 2 to 4, the recipe says, tablespoons of flour per 2 potatoes. So I'm just going to go right down the middle and use 3. All right, we're mixing up the flour and a little salt and pepper to taste. I like pepper. I want to get it all mixed up, a nice uniform consistency. Let's just test the oil, make sure it's hot enough. Okay, that's good. Not too much. I'm going to turn this down to medium so they don't burn. It's always hottest in the middle. Now the way to serve these is with either sour cream or applesauce, or of course anything else that you would choose, but that's the traditional way. Not quite, not quite. Give it another minute. That one is a little escapee. Okay, these are just a lovely shade of golden brown. I'm going to put them on this waiting platter. And here they are, and I will cook up the rest shortly. And the way to serve them is with applesauce or sour cream. Oh, let's see. Let's put a little of this over here, and a little of this over here. Try the applesauce first. One of the best things that ever happened to potatoes. Join us next time at Home with Peggy. These are really